Good Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos.
You do, am I doing this? You want to make them? I'll do them. Sure. Oh, wait, what are you doing? Give me. Let's see, let me see. Okay. I just wanted to. Good Shabbos, everyone. Since you always hear Dell do this, I told him I would do this. Okay, so we're going to have our announcements. I am Mindy Unger-Watkins, your board president. Now, do we have anybody new in the audience tonight? Raise your hand. Okay, I've got one back here. Do I have anybody else? Back here. And where are you from? You're from here. Okay, good. And where are you from? Virginia. Okay, excellent. Well, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Okay, a couple of announcements. First of all, the Jewish Film, am I too loud? It sounds kind of like, yeah. The Jewish Film Festival will be held, it's going to run from January 13th to the 28th. There are going to be 9 films this year, and due to the remodeling of the South Point Casino, we're going to be providing a bus from CNT. Oh, now I feel like I'm off. Okay. Well, there's going to be a bus from CNT to the Sun Coast on January 13th for the filming of Sammy Davis Jr., I've Got to Be Me, and to the Adelson Education Campus on to the 27th for the film Bombshell, the Hedy Lamarr story. So the tickets are $10 each. Contact the temple, but we are going to provide the bus for everybody, okay? But contact us and we'll let you know exactly how that's going to work. The Eternal Dream of Dr. Martin Luther King and MLK celebration is going to be next Sunday, weekend, right before the day before MLK Day, from 3 to 4:30 at the First AME Church on Revere Street. This is in North Las Vegas area. Rabbi Axelrod is going to be a key speaker. And Zoe Pence is going to be reading a poem as well during that event. So we all want to go and support that event and support Rabbi Axel.
I have to modify that. I am a moderator, not the key speaker. But the key speakers are excellent. Pona Mather,
yes.
I don't know if you've heard her, and Rico from Camp Anytown, and the Reverend from that church. All excellent.
Yes.
Really good.
Actually, I'm a friend of Poonam's, and she's great. She's just worth it just alone. So, okay, we are going to be honoring the Congregant of the Year. Do I have David Lanevsky here tonight? No, he's not there. David Lanevsky on Friday, January 19th at Shabbat services, followed by our annual Chinese Chow Down. So that's a 6:15 service, and then we have the dinner after. That's a big night, so we'll have all the new members there for a big picture, and David is going to be honored, so we want you all there, okay? Anyway, good Shabbos, and I'll let the service begin.
Are the words too hard? Come on.
Let's pick it up.
Well, I'm going to show you a new Hinematov. It came from Biennial a few weeks ago when we weren't here. Not the last 2 weeks, but a few weeks before that when we weren't here. We were in Boston, and we were immersed in education from our Reform community, and one of those forms of education is music, and I heard this brand new Hinematov that stole my heart, and I'm excited to start teaching it to our religious school on Sunday, and our Shabbatones are already learning it, but I thought whoever is smart enough to come to services tonight, actually Rabbi thought, I'll give you credit for it, they get to learn it first. So you're going to learn it in a little bit of like a lower key, like low key style, because it's very like high energy, but we're gonna learn a little bit right now. So I sent it to my trusty assistant Maggie to pre-learn it so that she would be able to help us. So I'm gonna come around so I can use the drum. I'm still learning hand-eye coordination, but I thought it would help a little bit to have the drum. Okay, so. So the first part, pretty simple. We got some fun stuff, a little Hebrew, a little Arabic. So it goes, Shalom Aleichem. Just try that. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Salam Aleikum. Very good. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Salam Aleikum. Good, that's one part. Okay, got one part down. So go. The next part is in English. How good it is. How good it is. So you do Maggie's part. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. Again. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. Last part, actually the first part. Hinematov. So you're going to dump your hand. Like that, okay? Hinematov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. That's a lot, I know. So, Hinematov. Try that. Hinematov. Umanayim. Your turn. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Sheverachim gam yachad. Try it together. Hinematov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinematov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. You got it? You got all three parts? Pretty easy, right? And pretty fun. So let's try it. Okay. From the beginning. You already know the beginning. Hinematov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinematov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. How good it is. How good it is. How good it is. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. To be together on this day. Hinematov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hinematov. Umanayim sheverachim gam yachad. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Try that. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem. Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem.
we're going to be officially releasing it, Congregant of the Year. By that time, you guys will be full force. All right, you made me a little nervous with that opening song, the Nigun. It was, what, one word? And they had trouble with it. So we needed to challenge them. That was it. Yeah, it's kind of a jazzy melody. All right, let's bring in the light. Here we go. $120. $120.
Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, may you have a peaceful day. Shabbat Shalom, may you have a restful day. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. Lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We call to the Bima, Ruth Golden, to light the Shabbat candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. Lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Boy, it seems like only last year when we saw each other last. It's good to be back from a little bit of vacation, to see everyone again. Did you enjoy having Becky and Joey Mann? Wasn't that a special treat? Very, very special treat. And a lot of good things. We want to make sure you don't miss us too much. If we wanted to make sure you missed us, we'd have someone with a lousy singing voice who couldn't preach, but we always try to bring to you people who have special talents and voices. I'd like to take a moment, if you would, to turn to someone next to you, perhaps behind you. Introduce yourselves to them, wish them good Shabbos. All right. All right, now that you've become reacquainted, met some new faces, we welcome Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei
Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malchei HaMlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
146, we rise for the Baruch Hu. O God, you are as near to us as the very air we breathe, yet farther than the farthermost star. We yearn to reach you. We seek the light and warmth of your presence. Though we say you are in need, we are lonely and alone. Therefore, let our desire be so strong that it will tear the veil that keeps you from our sight. Let your light release our darkness and reveal the glory and joy of your presence. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night, as heaven spans to infinity. You set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro mariv aravim bechachma hotiach sharim. God of creation, who makes the evening fall from light into darkness with the setting of the sun. You unfold the heavens with brilliant moon and stars and wrap our souls with peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu asher bidvaro marariv aravim bechokma poteach sharim Baruch atah Adonai Hamariv Haravim.
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too, for its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael.
ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
We rise for the Shema 152.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושמעתם לבניך ודיברתם בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
157, we read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל הכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, no Kodesh, Nora Tehilot, O Sefele, O Sefele, O Sefele, O Sefele. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גל ישראל.
To the ancients, one of the scary things was to go to sleep. Without secure protection from life's ills, they wondered what morning would bring. And so the Hashkivenu is a prayer that had deep meaning for them. That while they were asleep, God would watch over them and bring them shelter. And that when they would awaken, a new soul would dwell within them and they would be refreshed and ready to face life again. It's a beautiful, beautiful sentiment. 161. Let's read together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Keep us safe from harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
In an envelope marked personal, God addressed me a letter. In an envelope marked personal, I've given my answer. We rise for the tefillah, 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, גיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחלקי החיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We continue in silent devotion through page 180, using the words on the right or left side of the page, or the words within your heart. When you have completed your prayers, please be seated. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu mechadom lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu mechadom lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. טוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים
I was at the hospital today, and the person that I visited was very sick. And after we said a prayer and I left, I ran into the great-grandchildren, and I sat with them. I said, "Do you have any questions for me?" Most of the time they go, "No," or they'll say, "Why are you wearing that tie?" Or, something silly, distracting. But the little one, he was about 6, he said, "Why do people get sick?" It's a hard question to answer. And so I fumbled my way through it. But it did make me keenly aware that even though we associate these sad feelings when someone we love is sick, when God willing they get better, somehow the sweetness of that health and that recovery from illness makes the joy of life and living all that more sweet. And we know that life is full of those dualities, right? Of life and death, of young and old. And that is God's balance. And sometimes it's not either good nor bad, it just is. It just is. And so we come to our Mishaberach. And everyone here, I imagine, like myself, thinks of someone special in our hearts when we sing that prayer. We say it in the hopes that God will be with them to watch over them. If their fate is that it's time for them to pass away, we hope that it will be with peace. But if it is not that time, we hope and pray that God restores them to their family, to health, to happiness, and to joy. And when we say that Mishaberach, it's not magic. It's not a magical formula or incantation. And so we say it as much for those folks that we care about as much for ourselves. Why do our loved ones get sick? And we respond with a statement of faith, the Mishaberach, that although people get sick, thank God most of them get well. And we pray for that process of healing and hope. And that Mishaberach brings us closer to the divine and closer to the preciousness of life in our loved ones. So take a few moments, if you will, to stand and say the names, as many names as you would like, of those who are special to you. I think especially by request of the family for Shannon, we think of her. And as we join together, we say with the cantor these words of our Mishaberach prayer.
Mikor habracha leimotenu ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Well, good Shabbos again, everyone. And so we come to the first Sabbath after the secular New Year. And so, like always, it's time for reflection. But I don't want you to reflect necessarily upon the things that happened over the course of a busy 2017, a year that was filled with acts of terrorism and fires and hurricanes and social unrest. It was quite a year. I want you to stop for a moment and think about a year, any year, or rather, any moment when someone said something to you that made a difference in your life. A difference that helped change your outlook, your belief in yourself, or your ability to succeed in life. Think about who that person was. A teacher, a coach, mother, father, a rabbi, a cantor, and who that person was, and what their words of wisdom to you were, and what the context in which those words were given. It's because I was flipping through a magazine, and there was an interesting couple of articles about success in life. In one article, they interviewed Octavia Spence. How many of you know who that actress is? A lot of you know, and a lot of you think you don't know, but you actually do know, because she is one of those character actresses who labored in obscurity for many years until finally achieving professional success in movies such as The Help and last year's Hidden Figures. And in this article, she said, if you are constantly chasing success, you're not really living in the moment. So go places, do things. It's the journey that's fun. And that's her piece of advice. In a companion article, there were articles about coaches that changed the course of prominent athletes. Charles Barkley recalled his junior high school coach in Alabama, who demonstrated tremendous care for his students. He inspired Barkley to succeed, but he also took care to touch the lives of the less talented kids, the ones who would never make it to the pros. Everyone thought they were going to be a famous basketball player, baseball player, or whatever, and the truth is, most of them weren't. Those were the ones that he worried about the most, that they would have to one day get real jobs, that life was not merely about jump shots and layups. Martina Navratilova talked about her coach, Sandra Haney, who tried to help Martina in her tendency to get so angry when she either missed a shot or suffered a bad line call by the ref. She noted, in tennis, you cannot linger. The next point is 20 seconds later. The coach asked Martina, why do you lose? And Martina said it was because of bad calls and bad shots, and they really upset me. And so I went on to lose the game. And the coach said, it's not like you get an asterisk next to the result that says you're beating yourself. And so from that, Martina learned that she needed more self-control. And so as I went through each of these stories and the pieces of advice, what changed the course of these famous people's lives, the first thing that came to my mind was how ordinary the advice was. Some of them almost cliches. Do things, go places, go to college, focus, control your anger. To this we could add lose weight, watch what you eat, exercise more, believe in yourself and others will believe in you, and so forth. We've all heard these things before, and yet when these famous people were asked, what were the words of wisdom? They're all things that we have thought or shared with others. So why aren't we Charles Barkley? Why aren't we Albert Einstein? Perhaps more importantly, is why are we not who we're supposed to be? And so it got me thinking that it wasn't necessarily what the advice was. It was the fact that the person was ready to hear the advice. It wasn't really about the advice. I mean, if the advice was lousy, okay, I get it. But if it's pretty sound advice, at that moment, there was something about the person that they were ready and needing to hear that piece of advice. You know, anyone here who's a parent knows that you give your kids all this advice, and yeah, dad, yeah, dad, yeah, mom. And once in a while, you get them in the right mood, in the right place, and it's like a little sacred space, and you say something, and they catch it, and they hear it, and you made a difference. So perhaps it is about timing after all, and about our ability to recognize when that time is right. You know, this week's Torah portion, beginning of Exodus, begins with this whole situation where there's a new Pharaoh who doesn't know about the old Pharaoh and about the Jews, and the Jews are enslaved, and Pharaoh is going to take the firstborn or the newborn males of the Israelite and kill them, and so Moses is taken by his family and put into the river Nile for safety. Remember that? It's a pretty familiar story. Should have just floated down into obscurity. I don't know. Could have drowned. Could have starved. But at that moment, the princess saw it. A princess who was infertile, who wanted a baby so bad, and took Moses and adopted Moses into the household. In some midrashim, Moses was supposed to be the next in line to become Pharaoh. Except it was clear that when he took Pharaoh's crown and threw it on the ground that there was something about them that he wasn't going to accept that responsibility. That was not his destiny. But in that timing, in that moment, in that decision, that princess opened her eyes and saw that baby, knowing it was an Israelite child, knowing that that child's fate was supposed to be death, and nevertheless made a decision to give that child life and love and learning. And he grows up a prince of Egypt, and he sees all the ways of the land, and he is angry. Learning to control his anger might be the piece of advice that would be given to Moses, right? Right? He was breaking those 10 commandments. He kills a taskmaster. He hits the rock instead of talking to the rock. I mean, his anger is his Achilles heel. It's his kryptonite. But in this case, it sets in motion the fact that he must flee for his life. And in fleeing for his life, he gives up being a prince of Egypt, and he becomes a simple shepherd, a married man, a father. And his life has changed, and that's the way it could have been. Except for that burning bush. And he goes up and he looks, and the bush talks to him, and he doesn't ask for a psychiatrist. Instead, he hears what God has to say to him. It's about timing. Because when he was in Egypt and in a position of power to do something to change society, he wasn't ready. He could lash out, he could fight with his anger, with his emotions, with his sense of righteous indignation. But it wasn't until the power was traded for the meaning of life, family, and caring for others. I mean, why a shepherd? What does a shepherd do? It cares for the flock. That when God said, get out of here, go to Egypt, it's time for you. He protested and said, not me. I can't speak well. I'm a simple man now. And God emboldened him and said, the time is right. Well, maybe we don't all know that we get these celestial pep talks. But I have met people along my journey that do. That there is something within each one of us that there's a switch that turns from no, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to. And all of a sudden, the switch turns and you say, I'm going to do it. You know, the doctor told me 100 times to lose weight or I'll get diabetes. Didn't scare me. And then, boom. Or, you got to do this, you got to do that. Okay. And then finally, something happens. Someone you care about dies. Maybe your spouse says something to you. Maybe you look in the mirror and you say, well, I've cheated life long enough, and I can do something about it. Most of us don't get second chances. But guess what? We're Jewish. So you know what that means. We have not one, but 2 New Years. And therefore, I say to you, if you made those New Year's resolutions at Rosh Hashanah, and they didn't quite make it to 20 Chai, now's your second chance. Timing. Rabbi Hillel was a rabbi who gave advice. He was the original Dr. Phil. People would ask him about the meaning of Judaism, and he would explain it on one foot. He's the one who said, if I'm not for myself, who will be for me? And yet, if I'm only for myself, what am I? And in this pithy piece of advice, he lays down the balance between caring for others and caring for oneself, between being empathetic and sympathetic and being a narcissist. But how does he end it? He says, if I am not for myself, who's going to be for me? We got to care about ourselves. There's nothing wrong with that. Everything right about it. But if we are only about ourselves, yeah, then we're just selfish. But then he concludes with these words, if not now, when? Hillel taught us it's about timing. And so I say to you, if there are some resolutions that you have been mulling over, if not now, when? Now get to it. Shabbat Shalom.
Im eina nili mili.
586, we rise for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככהמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Cottage prayers on 598. We think of those who have died in recent days. Dana Michelle Marshall Bernstein, Miriam Vogel, Floyd Munt, Marie Wagner, Patrick James Fitzgibbon Jr., Anna Fitzpatrick, Marcella Diaz, and Sid Aaron Cohen. We recall with the preciousness of memory the Yortsites of Martha Ballin Kahn, Howard Barr, Leslie Burnick, Seymour Blumenthal, Sidney Brandt, Irving Brooks, Benjamin Cohen, Joseph David Cohen, Louis Cohen, Terry Davis, Sophie Doctress Hooker, Fred Ehrlich, Celia Eisenberg, Arnold Espin, Clara Frank, Sandra Friedner, Samuel Frush, Rick Lickman, Morris Goldstein, Marilyn Gorbina, Sylvia Gordon, Morris Hirsch, Robert Hirsch, Sean Jensen, Alex Kohanko, Ruth Lerner, Sidney Leinwell, Myra Levy, Oscar Mazursky, Samuel Miller, Cy Myers, Sam Perlman, Miriam Rosenbaum, Harold Rosenthal, Rose Rubin, Sidney Sarr, Sidney Saltman, Craig Sklar, Ellen Judith Sheldon, Martin Sherman, Mildred Sorrell, Seymour Sperling, Bert Squire, Joe Troop, Adrian Watman, Sidney Weissman, Lena Winnick, and Marcus Whitner. If you would like to recall the name of a loved one who is not mentioned, please stand and say their name. As we think of these and others who have touched our hearts, we rise to recite our Kaddish prayer. Yit kadal v'yit kadash shemei rabah, v'yalmad divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chaychon v'yomechon v'chayed achol beit Yisrael, b'agalav v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehi shmei rab ha'mevorach le'olam omei almaya, yit barach v'yish tabach v'yit ba'ar v'yit ramam v'yit naseh, Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekusha b'richu leila min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dam yiram b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlom rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav hu yasei shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the ones who create harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen. Please be seated. So even though I am not the keynote speaker on January 14th, I need all of you to come to the First AME Church for the MLK observance, for which I am on the planning committee and have given a lot of advice. If you love it, I planned the whole thing. If you don't like it, I had nothing to do with it. But it should be terrific. But the other reason I want you to go, aside from it being a great program, is we are forging, I think, a very nice relationship with First AME Church. Reverend Williamson is a very kind and gentle soul, a brilliant man, a passionate person, and he's become a very dear friend. And so in March, for the very first time ever, and there's very few things I can say that in this congregation, for the first time ever, we are doing a pulpit exchange. A pulpit exchange. So he will come and he will be speaking at our Freedom Shabbat in the middle of March, and his choir will come, and the cantor is working on some special music. So I want you to get to know him, and I want him to get to know us. Those of you who went to the Charlottesville vigil, we held it at that church, and those of you who came to Vegas Strong and Song, noticed that he came and sat in our congregation and supported us as well. So please be there for me and be there for our community. Looking at this next week, not that much happening at all. I mean, Cantor, are you busy at all?
No,
What do you want? You're gonna take? What about Tuesday? You want to do something Tuesday? You guys know what's happening Tuesday night? You'll never guess. It is not trash day. Wait a minute. Well, don't tell me.
Another meeting.
It's another meeting. It is the annual meeting of the Jewish Nevada, and they are giving out community awards. And they are giving out one of the most prestigious award right here to our very own Cantor. Yay. Now, it says in my notes, I don't think this is the right award.
It is.
Cantor Hutchings is being honored
I'm getting it, but
as the Jewish Pro of the Year. That's what it says, the Jewish Pro. Is it like professional football?
it is when I have to work with you.
Oh, okay. Jewish Pro of the Year. Oh, Professional of the Year. And it's going to be held at the Nathan Adelson Educational Campus at 6:30. There's a few other different awards, and we're honoring the Marshall family and others. It's going to be a nice thing. One of our past presidents, Marla Letitia, is the president of the Jewish Nevada. And so I hope you guys will come on out, support our Cantor, and express to her tonight, and then our sense of pride and joy over her accomplishment. Well deserved, well deserved. Kiddush and Motzi. All right, anyone looking forward to religious school starting again on Sunday? Come on up, kids. Join the Cantor for the Kiddush and Motzi.
Including new friends that are going to be in the religious school on Sunday.
All right. Anyone who happens to be visiting? If you are visiting and you want to take a little challah and wine, come on up. And while we are getting organized, I wanted to mention to you that this year we are going to be starting a new monthly tradition of birthday blessings. For the last couple of years, we've been acknowledging wedding anniversaries. So once a month, we're going to pick a Friday night, and we're going to offer a special birthday blessing. So I hope you'll participate when it is your birthday month. All right? Here we go. Those of you who enjoy Torah study tomorrow morning at 8:45, I will be leading the Torah study this week and next. Cantor's doing Minyan. And those of you who have attended Minyan on a regular basis, we are honoring Harrison for 10 years of service, of organizing the Minyan and teaching. So there's a special Kiddush in his honor, and it's going to be very good. One more thing. How many of you, raise your hand, know someone between 21 and 38-ish? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise them high. All right, now put them down. Look right over there. Sandy, stand up. Sandy is our coordinator for Next Gen. So if that person you are thinking of happens to live in Las Vegas and they are not Jewishly involved, connect with Sandy right after services and complain to her, my daughter is not involved, my son is not involved. She will get them involved. We just need a phone number and an email, and they will become part of Next Gen.
And our next Shabbat After Dark, speaking of that, is February 9th. So that's a special Shabbat service for 40 and under, and for 21 to 40. And it's very cool, chill, laid back, wine and cheese beforehand. It's Shabbat of love, so you should join us for that. It's after the regular service.
All right, very good. Let's conclude with our final song, which is
Oseh Shalom.
Is it Oseh Shalom?
Yeah.
All right,
Which
here we
new
go.
one?
Oseh Shalom.
It's the one I felt like today. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody.